University of Texas decided to change the name of a campus dorm named after a former Ku Klux Klansman. Austin News first brought this story to light in May and showed a live picture at noon today as workers removed the name of William Stewart Simkins from a campus dorm. Now, he was a faculty member at UT for 30 years, but also a strong advocate for the KKK. KXAN's Jared Wise has more on how the university's decision could set a precedent for future cases around the country.
In my opinion, the history behind the name is not in line with today's University of Texas and its core values.
The UT Board of Regents made a historic move early Thursday morning, removing the name Simkins from this residence hall.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion passes unanimously.
This was the right decision, and I'm very pleased with the board's support on it.
And just 3 hours after that decision was made, the sign was cut down for good and hauled off into the building for which it was once named.
And now that name, which has been here for more than half a century, has been taken down, UT thinks it may set a precedent for other universities.
We are the pace setter in many things, and I do hope that this does set the tone for other universities to look at their history.
And it all started with a research paper published just 3 months ago. Dr. Tom Russell is a former UT law professor who now teaches in Denver. He is pleased with the Regents' decision.
More importantly, I'm generally very pleased with the breadth of the conversation that's taking place about history, race, and law at the University of Texas.
Now a story more than a century old may have just added one of its last pages to the history books.
But I do have additional material on the University of Texas, and I'd like to say a good bit of it is positive. Particularly in the law school, the faculty, under the leadership of Dean Keaton, did many things to ensure that the university moved toward racial justice. And I'd like to write some of that up.
Jared Wise, KXAN, Austin News.
In light of the research, other historical landmarks have come into question around the university, particularly some of the statues and their ties to the Confederate Army. Now, UT tells us there are vast differences between veterans who fought in a war and someone who identifies themselves strictly with a hate group. But we're told if a similar situation arises in the future, the university plans on following the same procedure they did in this case.